cookie keep you calling, then it's good. If I want it in the morning, then it's good. I got this money on my mind, but I got a little time. Let me see. Welcome to another episode of Let's Real Talk About It. And oh shit, y'all done fucked up. I done made it. I got a goat in the building with me. Let's Real Talk About It podcast, man. I told y'all we ain't playing, man. We're not playing around. We got some serious guests. We've been having some incredible weeks, but I feel like this week is a little bit more special. This guy is in my top 5 dead or alive. He is an actor, comedian, musician, writer, producer, dancer, and whatever else you could think of. I guarantee you he could do it or learn how to do it. We are talking about none other than the legendary, man, long living GOAT, Affion Crockett. What's good, King?
What up, man? You good?
Yo, I'm
the hell of an
excited,
intro.
man. That's an intro for you. You know, I gotta show love and give you your flowers while you're here, man.
Nah, that's love, man. I appreciate you, brother.
How's everything been going?
Everything good, man. You know, with the exception of the world going crazy, I'm in a good personal space, so that's always a blessing. You know what I mean?
How you been kind of moving around during this quarantine and COVID shit, man?
For the most part, I've just been in the crib, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, I'm not afraid of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen to what the media says and all that kind of shit. I'm a spiritual dude. I'm a healthy dude. So I just keep my body and my immune system right. And ain't nothing else you can tell me from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, facts. Are you like masked up when you go out, or are you just like, nah, I'm not even dealing with it?
Only because, like, when I go to the grocery store, I have to have the mask on. Like, it's a requirement, but I'm not like in the car paranoid with the
I see a lot of people driving with the mask on. I'm like, bro, it's okay. You're gonna be all right in the winter. It's gonna be all right. Jesus Christ, man. So you know, the first time I met you, man, you were actually the first big time celebrity that I had watched like all my life and like really looked up to, that actually got to see me work at the BET Cypher. You know what I mean? I know you were there. I think you were there with Sean Smith, right?
I was there with Sean Smith. Yep.
Shout out Sean Smith, man. Hell of an MC as well. And
ridiculous.
I was so, I didn't even see you at first until after we had already done like a few takes of it. So it was really dope for you to show me that love and be humble enough to even just give me that credit, and that really uplifted me and gave me a lot of hope for the future. Like, yo, I could do this. Somebody that I've watched my whole life just told me I'm dope. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate that. And it showed a lot about your character. You know what I mean? When we first met.
No, that's dope. And hold on, I'm gonna give you your flowers real quick. Let me So the BET Cypher. So I'm there with Sean Smith, right? And I had no idea who to expect. I didn't know anybody else in the cypher. I didn't know nothing. I was just there to support Sean and to like sideline coach him. And so as y'all start the taping, I think you were the first one to go out, right?
Yeah, I was the first one opening it up.
And you know, I've been emceeing a long time, right? I know when somebody got it and when somebody don't got it.
Yeah.
And you had what I call the LL Cool J Crush Groove moment when he went in the office with Jekyll and Hyde, Andre Harrell, JMJ, and he went in the office and he said, "Box." And they turned the box on and he started performing radio live, and he had all the gestures and he was like, "You gonna feel me when I say what I'm saying." And I was like, yo, whoever this cat is, that's why I just walked up to you after like the second take. I was like, "Hey man, you body."
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Straight body.
It's crazy the way it went down too, because I was actually booked for the digital cypher. I wasn't even supposed to be there.
I know.
I was supposed to be on that cypher. So when they bumped me, and it's crazy because my manager had told me like, "Yo, you got the cypher." So when I got there, they're like, "Oh, this is the digital cypher." I got kind of tight. Like I was really upset, and then I had to check my own ego because I'm like, you know what? The same people that film the real cyphers, they gotta film me right now. So they gonna see. And it's like next year they're gonna put me on a TV cypher. So when they bumped me on the spot, and then you guys came in the room, it was like, oh shit, now the room's really where I need to be. You know what I mean? So now it's time to really show off. I can't do the digital cypher crazy and then fuck up here, because you know what I mean. So I was just really determined to make a statement, and it was just a beautiful day, man. And that cypher actually went up we did great, man. It was a great meeting with you, and it did a lot for me in my just my confidence. So that's why I wanted to open the interview up with just thanking you for that, because it really, you could have just been like, you know what I mean? And then I would have came up like, yo, I fuck with you. Yeah, that's what's up, Lil. You know what I mean? You did you did good. But that really
Yeah.
did, I really appreciate that. And that told me from day one that you were a stand-up dude. And I'm a huge fan, man. I'm excited about this interview. How are you?
Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. How have you been surviving with Hollywood being down? Like what have you been really resorting to? Has it been social media? Like what has been your clutch? You know what I mean? Really keep staying
Yeah,
in the
God
buzz.
is good, man. I've been, I had this mantra from years ago that I am a money magnet. It's a part of my spiritual understanding, and there's always little signs of that. Like anywhere I go, there's always like a coin on the ground in my pathway. And I remember Joyce Meyer preaching about that one day. She said the exact same thing. She was like, if you're always walking into money, that means money is always walking into you. Like that's not accidental. That there's a penny right. Somebody even wrote a book about it. The pen, something of the blessing of the penny. And I'm getting the title wrong, but I don't say that to say, hey, I'm balling out of control. But I say that to say that my needs are always met, and that
God always
provision
got
is
you, man.
always, God always got me. Provision is always there. So I don't freak out. I think whenever you start to stress, right? The analogy I use is if you're swimming in a pool, if you smooth and you got your strokes right, and you move, you pushing that water back with your hand, your body can now glide through that water and get to the destination. And you use the resistance of the water. So it doesn't mean you're not going to have resistance. But the minute you start freaking out and flailing your arms and like, oh my God, I can't do this, you're going to sink in that very same water that could have propelled you to the destination. And we have examples of that. Jay-Z said it in one of his interviews. He said, I played the forever space, the white hot space. It looks shiny and it looks dope. Like, you know how somebody be popping, like they have a year and it's like, yo,
After that year, it's over.
Gone.
Yeah.
Right. And what Jay-Z was saying in that interview was, I just concentrate on what I do. And, there's always going to be new technology. There's always going to be a new person or new people or new MCs, whatever your field is, right? There's always going to be somebody new and somebody so-called hot. But who could play forever? Who could stay around for decades? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really be that person. I mean, we look at Nipsey Hussle, and most people, let's keep it a buck. Most people, the masses heard of Nipsey once he passed, and then they backtracked and did their research.
And then realized.
I heard about Nipsey when he first came out. The XXL freshman cover. And before that, I've heard his name. I live in LA 22 years. So I've heard Nip's name, right? But I saw his consistent, gradual, not stopping kind of, trajectory. Like we talking about swimming, like he's just been consistent. He always believed in his brand. He was focused. He just didn't give up on what he did. And then he created the Nipsey that, that we now know to today. But if you play in that, and here's the thing, some of those XXL peers of his had hot, immediate flashes when they came out, and then they nowhere to be found.
A lot of those artists, like if you see the freshman list, you'll pick out a few that still around and a few that have kind of come and gone. So definitely.
Yeah. So always, you got a talent that is forever if you steward it right. Because like you said, if you speeding and you gas out, you gas out. You can't. You only have one body and one mind. So if you burn that out,
it's a wrap. I see you saying that you lived in LA for 22 years. Are you from Germany, but you were raised in North Carolina? Like how? Like what is like how?
I'm from the other way around. I'm from North Carolina, but I was raised in Germany. I'm an Army brat, so
okay.
Wow. I don't identify with any one geographical location. I do what I don't. You know what I mean? Like I'm North Carolina, moved away from there when I was 5. Went to Trinidad first. My mom was Trinidadian, so we went to Trinidad. while my dad had to go to Germany and set up shop for us. So I had to go to school in Trinidad when I was 5, and that was culture shock by itself. And then went to Germany, stayed 4.5 years, went back to Carolina for 2 years, and then back to Germany for another 4.5 years.
Wow.
And then graduated from Carolina. And then I was in Carolina pretty much until I moved to LA. So
what made you decide to make that jump? I actually been having that conversation with a few of my guests. A lot of people that want to follow their dreams, they want to go to LA. They want to, make it in LA. It's really hard. It's really expensive. It's a lot right now in the world that we're in today. What made you like decide to just take that jump and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to LA and I'm gonna make it happen?
it's a funny story. I was just talking about this recently. I did Def Comedy Jam fresh out of school.
In
right?
96, right?
96.
96.
And I was only doing comedy for like a total of like 6 to 8 months, maybe, right?
Damn, and you was already on Def Comedy Jam?
Blew my mind, brother. Trust me.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
Wow.
But yeah, I made it. However it happened, I made it, right? So after that, I started touring and doing shows, and I would meet people like Steve Harvey and DL Hughley, and these OGs would be like, same as I did with you at the Cypher. They was like, yo, you got it. Like, you need to be in LA. You can make millions of dollars. That's what Steve told me. Steve told me, he said, you got all the juice. And he told me this after I bombed in front of him. I was horrible. I had nothing for his audience. I was up there hosting and featuring, and bruh, I couldn't sell a joke to these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
And
crazy.
he sits me down for 30 minutes backstage. And he's just like, look, he says, look, I understand, we all go through bad shows and all that. He said, but you got all the talent. I watched you. He said, you can make millions at this. Millions. And he said, you need to be in LA. Yeah. And so he said, you need to be in LA. But I was afraid to move to LA because I thought LA was all gangs and you know what I mean, earthquakes and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you've never been, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm watching the movie How to Be a Player. I went to the matinee. I was in Fayetteville, and I was just,
that was
one
like,
of them days.
that's so iconic, that movie. Forget it.
Yeah.
That's like the blueprint, right?
it has its place. So I'm in a movie theater in Fayetteville, North Carolina, watching on the screen comedians that I had already met, actors that I'd already met. I met Bill Bellamy at Def Comedy Jam. I met Pierre on the road in Charlotte. I met Jermaine Hopkins, who played Sam's and Lean on Me, and he was in Juice with Tupac. Russell Simmons, I had met him when I did Def Comedy Jam. He produced the movie. So I'm watching all of these people on the screen that I have already had contact with. And they're in LA, but they're in Beverly Hills and they're in Hollywood. And now the light bulb went off. It's like, yo, LA is not just colors or gangs. And
if they can do it there, then I definitely can. Like, for sure.
Facts. That was the battery. And I left the theater that day planning to move to LA.
Wow, that's dope. Did you save any money? Because I know I moved to Atlanta in 2010 to like pursue my music career. That's where things really got off for me. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have much of a plan.
Bruh, let me tell you something. I think I had maybe 1,200.
Wow.
Maybe.
It made it work. 22 years you've been there.
Oh yeah. And I was staying with a relative for the first, a distant relative that I barely knew for the first year, and then saved up enough bread to get an apartment and a phone, or was it a phone? Yeah, a phone. That was my first purchase with my, my little small bag that I got to be able to, I got one little job. It was a big ass Qualcomm phone, bruh.
No way.
Yo, it was massive, bro. I'm gonna see if I can find it on Google.
How much was it?
Shit, I don't know. That phone was probably like, that's back when phones was like $125 or some shit.
Yeah, right. They had to be $100. I remember my first phone was like the Nokia when we had like the snake game.
Oh wow.
That was my first shit. The gold Nokia.
Shit. I think this. Yeah, and that motherfucker. I remember it used to get so hot on your face when you was
Nah,
talking. It would get
that's definitely a little before mine.
dumb hot, bro.
Oh yeah, the big joint.
The
Oh
big,
my god.
and then I had it in a case, a plastic case. That
And that
shit almost
plastic case
melted.
was diesel with the clip on the back. Forget it. You put it on your
Yeah,
hip.
this was my whole setup right here, bro. You put it on your hip, your pants is half falling down. You got to extra tighten your belt.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. So 22 years surviving in LA, man. That's really dope. You mentioned doing Def Comedy Jam in 96. You know, you started as a dancer though, right? Before you
Yeah.
did comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Did you always just feel like you were multifaceted? Did you plan on doing comedy? Like you started off doing dance. Was you like naturally funny? Like was you like in school? Like what brought you from these different elements of your career and everything that you've been doing?
I was only naturally funny like around the house with little things here and there. I was always a shy kid because all that moving around the country and the world, and I was a new student 14 times in a different school, and I stayed for a few months, and then we got to move to this other part of town or this other country. So I became mad introverted, and to this day, I'm still like that. Like when people was talking about complaining about quarantine, I'm like, nigga, I'm good. Like
Yeah, I'm good too.
this is normal for me to be a homebody and to just be watching TV or working out or whatever, eating snacks and shit. It's quite normal for me. So yeah, I didn't plan on being funny. Like I didn't think I was mad funny and I could just be a stand-up comedian. Everything kind of happened organically. Dance was my focus. And in my mind, I was like, man, I'm gonna get real far in dance. I'm gonna dance for Michael Jackson and Janet and all of the goats, and I'll make a career out of that, and I'm gonna be good. And then along comes Def Comedy Jam, a show that incorporates everything I do. I'm a b-boy, I'm an MC, and to see all the comedy all balled into one with Kid Capri DJing and different rappers and Martin Lawrence hosting, and it was like my whole world was all coming together. The only thing I didn't do actively was stand-up comedy. So
And
that's what was like,
that's the tricky thing because a lot of people that are funny in real life, they go and try to do stand-up. It's not the same. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's a different beast. So to be able to hold your own on that end, along with everything else, man, that's incredible. You know what I
But
mean? So
I'm gonna tell you what it was though. It's the same thing I saw in you at the Cypher. I'm a natural performer because of dance. I've always been on stage since I was 10 years old. So I know the stage. I know how to perform. It was a matter of putting together a show that was entertaining enough. You hope it's funny.
yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna entertain them with voices and physical comedy and see what lands, basically.
No, absolutely. So you wasn't scared to go up there. That was your first comedy. Like was Def Comedy Jam your first gig?
Terrified, bro.
Oh
I
my
wasn't. I mean, I
god.
was excited, right? But again,
Yeah.
just like you were with the cipher, I was gassed because it was an opportunity. And the night before in my hotel room, I'm, bruh, it was like a prize fight. I'm in the mirror. I'm like,
Training.
I'm
No, for sure.
I'm holding a bar of soap as the microphone, like, yeah, man, what, man, blah, blah, blah. Bruh, I was in the zone, like, yo, I'm nervous, I'm terrified, but I knew that this was my moment. I got to blast off on this joint. So, yeah, that was it. That was that was that moment.
I spent a lot of my time today listening to Watch the Clone. Bro. Bro.
Oh
Between the
shit.
Eminem and Dre track, the detox joint, and the oh my god, what was the other one that I was just it was the Drake joint when you fell asleep, bro. I don't think
Too
I've
slow.
ever heard anything like what you created on Watch the Clone. If anybody doesn't know, it's a combination of of impersonation of different rappers and artists, all on produced records that you produce. Which, by the way, the production is very impressive, my brother. Like it's
Thank
very.
you.
I had to double check. And like I was like, did he say that he did that? Because when you did the intro with Russell Simmons, oh
Uh-huh.
man, it's so great. I don't think I've ever seen that. Has that ever been done? I think you're the first person to ever do something like that where it literally sounds like the artist. I was closing my eyes at some points and literally like could see that person rapping those lyrics. Like it's incredible. Tell us
Yeah,
about what made you think of that.
I don't know that anyone has done that. So I'll take that as the first. And I don't know anyone else is going to come behind me and do it because, first of all, everyone that does impressions can't rap. You
You
know, the
can't.
only
That's a
person,
you gotta project at a different pace. Where impersonations, you might some impersonators might have to prep their voice for a particular sentence or words.
yeah, the only
And,
two people that could do it, but they haven't done it, is Ari Spears and Jay Farrow.
mm,
They do enough impressions of different rappers to where they could do that same concept of album. But yeah, the what made me think of it, and this might surprise you, but the album Watch the Throne, I was not a fan of it.
mm.
So when I heard it, I had
I can't
all this
remember if I was a fan
anticipation.
of it, to be
I had
honest.
all this anticipation of Jay and Ye going over like Primo beats and some Pete Rock soul and Just Blaze. And I was like, man, this shit about to be, and then Kanye's own beats. I was like, man, this shit about to be the greatest
Crazy.
album in the history of albums. And then when I heard it, every track to me sounded like Forever Young, Jay's track, which ultimately sounded like some, rap mixed with some U2. And I was
Mm.
just like, yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't give me what I needed. So
What
I was
it
like,
was wasn't
man,
what you were expecting for sure.
nah. So first, I hit one of my boys who's a producer in Jay's camp. I'm not gonna say his name, but I said, man, I want to do a mixtape called Watch the Clone, where it's me basically doing the album I wanted to hear in Jay and in Jay and Ye's voice. That's why it's so many songs on there with like Jay and Kanye. That they're like the foundation of
Yeah,
the
of the
record.
idea. Okay.
So I could have just did like a 5-song EP of just the What You Wearing joint, the title track Watch the Clones with Jay and Ye, my motherfucking kid. But yeah, I as I was producing the beats, my boy Jevin came through and he was like, he heard certain things and he was like, yo, because Jevin is one that played Dr. Dre and E40 and Meek Mill on the
Okay.
album.
Okay.
So he heard it. He was like, "Oh, that sounds like M,"
Oh,
or
yo,
that sounds like
the
so and so."
Dre, he was Dre.
He was Dre.
Okay, okay, okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like, yo, that's some great engineering. Because I know his voice ain't that deep. I'm like, damn. I thought that you might have pulled that one off too, but that makes more sense. Okay, and you were M,
I was M.
bro. It's genius. It's genius. It's really genius shit. Like
Thank you, my
it
dude.
really is genius shit. You have to check out this album. It's called Watch the Clone by Affion Crockett. It's amazing. You'll laugh your fucking ass off. Smoke a blunt. Watch that shit. It'll be great. Listen to that shit. It'll be great. Music, movies, musicals, voiceover work, stand-up comedy. What's your favorite thing to do out of everything that you do? Like, what's your what's your main? What do you love to do the most?
Um, it, I liken talents to like moods. I just have different moods for different things. So I don't think that I enjoy one thing more.
It
Um,
depends what kind of bag you're in. What kind of bag are you
yeah.
in right now?
I'm definitely in a comedy bag. Definitely, I'm
Impersonation bag for sure.
for sure. Definitely in my more producer directing, even if it's like my IG videos or whatever, but I'm in that creator bag. And also like my physical fitness bag, my martial arts, boxing, and just making sure like we don't know what the world is about to do, right? So if anyone should come to my door, or if I'm out at the grocery store and somebody wants my literal bags when I'm coming
No,
out,
for real.
I need to tune you up and be comfortable that I know, my footwork.
No, facts,
I mean,
facts. And
handwork.
you a big dude, so you know what I mean? I know you got a lot of
Well, I'm
reach.
not big. I'm tall.
Yeah, you're
I'm not, you
tall.
know. Yeah.
That reach, you probably smack me with a kick before I could even get within 6 feet of you. I wouldn't even
There's
get
reach.
close to the bag. Yeah, but fuck outta
There's
here.
some reach for sure.
Absolutely. I see that along with everything that you did, you also created In the Flow with Affion Crockett, which was actually executively produced by Jamie Foxx. That's crazy. Let's talk about how that opportunity came about and you know how that worked out for you.
Yeah, it's very similar to what's happening right now. So I have another show in development right now. That I can't give you details about it,
Nah, it's all good. I
but it's a
understand that.
very similar scenario. So basically, after a while and out, I went to YouTube and I started creating videos. I started creating all these joints that's like parody videos. You know, that's
Mhm.
where it really started for me. Um, and got a lot of views. Put a reel together, and me and my boy took the idea to his agency, and they were like, "Yo, Fox is looking for a show." And when the agency set us up with a production company, so if you don't know anything about TV will take you to a production company, right? For you have to have a production company that can actively produce the episodes. You know, put the money up, have the cameras, hire the writers, all that stuff. So we met with one of the big production companies that had a bunch of other shows under their lap, a lot of white shows. They saw my reel compiled of all my YouTube stuff and other sketch character work that I've done, and they was like, "Oh, we love it!" Like they wanted to make a deal right away. So me and my boy, we had already had the deal. Like we went to Fox. Fox loved it. And that was the whole situation. And then the last meeting we had with the president of Fox, he wanted to add Jamie in because they had just met, and
Mm.
he felt like it would be a good fit for him to introduce the show to the world, introduce me to the world. Um, and obviously, it didn't work with the just the whole mix of the team that we had of everyone
Mm.
involved, and the network didn't get it. So that was short lived, but it opened so many doors to. That's how Haunted House came about. That's how
Mm.
Soul Men came about. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, and um, dumb movies after that, and other TV opportunities too. I did the comedians with Billy Crystal and Josh Gad, and then Pixels with Adam Sandler,
Yeah,
The
Pixels
Wedding
too. I was
Ringer.
gonna say even voiceover work, it's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
dope. How different is that from acting, doing the voiceover stuff?
Mm, it's you don't have to be self conscious of your how you look because it's all
Mannerisms.
voice.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So even though I'm in there performing it, I'm not worried that there's a camera on me and that I gotta hit my mark and all that shit.
Are you
It's just me
watching
and
the
my
character on screen and then like that's how you know how to
sometimes
say things?
sometimes only when you have to match. Like they normally do that. It's called ADR, where you have to match something after the fact, right?
Mhm.
Um, Normally with cartoons, you do all the voices before, and then they go and take
Wow.
your voice and they match the character to you.
Oh, so
So
you
you have
can
to know
pretty
how to
so if
act
you
off the
wanna
script.
yeah, yeah, so if you wanna so you read the script and then you determine how that character's gonna say that, and then they draw compared to how you said it. So you're in
Yep.
control in that aspect. That's really no that's
But then
dope.
there's a director in the booth with you too. So based on what the script needs and says, or what the scene is asking
Yeah,
for,
yeah, what the mood
you
is.
have to deliver the mood and the emotion.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I
Yeah.
look forward to I actually think, I would like to do that one day for sure, some voiceover, like,
Yeah, you
animated
should.
stuff. That's fire.
Yeah.
That's definitely fire. What's your favorite movie that you've ever been in? Like, what's right now, like, you could think off top? Favorite one that you've done?
It's between Soul Men and Wedding Ringer. Well, shit, Dance Flick too. And the reason why is, from the people that I work with, Soul Men is Bernie Mac's last movie. So,
Mm,
you
rest
know,
in peace,
he
Bernie,
he
man.
basically
Legend.
passed me the torch. He told me that I reminded him of a younger him,
Mm,
which is very fitting because it's the Bernie Mac impression that I did that gave me confidence to get on stage when I first did my first night of comedy in Charlotte. And when I did Def Comedy Jam, I ended it on a Bernie Mac impression too. No, I started
wow.
out with it. Yeah. So when I did the Bernie, everybody was like, yo. So to have him come around and then, knight me and say, yeah, you got it. You know
And
what I'm
that was
saying? That's
the
like,
last thing he was in.
he died months after we had that conversation.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
he was amazing. They kind of they really blew it up and put comedy on a real, like, even more of a stratosphere. I feel like with the Kings of Comedy when they dropped that movie, and it was so like good, like everybody was so solid in that movie, especially Bernie. Like, I mean, I was like 11 and I got every joke, and I don't know if that's
Uh-huh.
a good thing or bad thing, but I
Yeah.
understood everything he said, and I thought
Yeah.
it was like one of my favorite things ever. I used to watch his stand up on the Kings of Comedy, man. Like, I don't even know, every day, probably for years,
Hmm.
bro. Like, it's crazy. So definitely rest in peace to Bernie Mac. So verses. I see a lot of the verses going on with the MCs battling, but I find myself enjoying the recaps more than the actual battles. Now, these recaps come up, and you did the Teddy Riley one. Was it the Teddy Riley one? And
Yeah.
the
Teddy and
Babyface
Babyface.
joint? Yeah, yeah. We got DMX and Snoop coming up.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna be for that recap?
I can't even tell you yet because here's the thing about the recaps. Even though I'm known for doing impressions of rappers, right?
Yeah.
The recaps is just me and Spice doing a recap. It has nothing to do with being accurate with how they sound and none of that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that all came about uh from the Teddy Babyface joint because neither one of us look or sound like either one of those guys. But the fact that we were just doing the dumb shit that happened
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that ruined this whole moment of two legends coming together. That's what started the comedy. And so we just like, all right, every verse is that's just,
I
and so
think
now people know.
they should be doing that on their own platform. I think it needs to get off IG because it's like it's
Oh
becoming
yeah.
so big, you
Yeah,
know.
IG is on the wrong side of history right now on a lot of things.
No, facts, man. Facts. Especially with the times, man. They should have found a way to
Facebook and IG, they on the wrong side of history right now.
forget it. What's your all-time favorite impression out of all the ones that you do?
That's the thing. I don't have a favorite. I just, for me, impressions is a tool. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I use it when I need to, or when it's requested, or whatever the case is. But I don't really, it's more for people,
mm,
right? Because I'm so much more than that. I do so many
yeah,
other things
facts.
that I don't even focus on. Oh wow, I can do impressions, and I'm gonna just lead with
Focus
that.
on
Like
that.
I
Yeah.
don't even think about it until someone
Yeah.
says it. Like, hey, do Jay-Z? No,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you
But
know,
the way you did it on Watch the Clone was that just proves everything. I mean, I would just every time somebody asked me for an impression, I'd be like, "Oh, you didn't hit Watch the Clone? Oh yeah, go check that out, man."
right?
That would be my answer for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I'd be like, yo, check out
Get it.
my IG. It's on my IG, or watch the clone out.
Do you have do you have a particular like impression that you struggle, like you ever like can't get down but you've tried for years?
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. So I'm Trinidadian, right? My mom is Trinidadian, but for the life of me, I can't get the Trinidadian accent, the
Ah,
dialect.
the
And it's
dialect.
so puzzling because that's home. Like I go home and I can't talk to them in the way that they talking to me. And I don't know why it's such a struggle, why I feel so detached from it. But I've been studying it though. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep studying
He's
it.
like, if I could do everything I do, I can, but I can't like adjust to that accent. It's like
Bruh.
the hardest thing. Do I have an accent to you?
Yeah, you sound like a New Yorker,
Okay.
hands down. Like,
It's crazy because I don't really hear an accent from LA, mostly the Midwest. Like my boy Stevie Stone from St. Louis, they say like Sam. Or instead of seven, they be like Sam. Be there,
Sam, yep,
I be there about Sam by Lamb. About
yeah, yeah,
Sam a Lamb.
for sure.
Like word.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
some Midwestern Southern shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
you sound like a kid from the Bronx.
Word. I guess. I mean, I don't hear it. I don't hear no accents really. It's crazy. A
Where are
lot
you
of people
from?
say I have one. I'm from Rhode Island, from Providence. My
Oh,
family, I
okay.
got a but real shit. We We 3 hours from New York. It's like a smaller New York. We got everybody in this state got family in New York. We're always in and out of New York. It's like we're
And
neighbors.
it's that region, like
Yeah,
it's
you
the
know what I
same
mean?
people that settled in New York settled
Yeah,
up there too.
exactly. My mother and my father are both, you know what I mean, were there, and then came here when I was born. And my grandmother and shit came from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican 100%. And
Yeah, my mother's Trinidadian, and when she first came here, she lived in Brooklyn. So I definitely
and
have
your father is Chinese?
my grandfather. My
Your
mom's dad was
grandfather.
Chinese,
Oh, okay.
Chinese Trini dude. Yeah,
Wow, that's dope. So you got a lot of different ethnicities. That's why you're just so multifaceted and cultural, man. That's it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? A lot of people that have that kind of childhood that you had with a lot of traveling can use it as an excuse on why they're a certain way, or why things never, they never picked up momentum. And you don't have that, man. You've been in a lot of different places and you've capitalized and you've continued to show your resiliency. And I think that's why you have the longevity you have. You know what I'm saying?
facts. Nah, I appreciate that, man.
Nah, for sure. We're gonna play forward floor. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions. Let me know what comes off the top of your head. What's on your whiteboard / bucket list?
I want to work with Eddie Murphy and Will Smith.
Mm. What you can you do, Will?
uh,
Give me your best entanglement explanation.
nah, I'm not. I haven't touched it. I haven't touched that whole thing. Like people been hitting me up, like,
Are you gonna
"Yo,
do
you
it?
need to." Not at all.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not gonna
no,
touch
no.
it.
That's what people hitting you up saying. Are you gonna do it?
Yeah. But nah, I'm not gonna
I
touch
think they both agreed to do their thing a long time ago. They have an open marriage where they're life partners, and it's nobody's fucking business.
it. Bottom line is, it's nobody's fucking business.
That's
Whatever
it.
their relationship is, or whatever they've chosen, I don't know none of that
I
shit.
wouldn't
I
have never
know.
addressed it. I would have never did the red table thing.
I just said this last night,
I
bro.
would have
I
never.
would not have said one word. That's between us. The fact that August went out and he wanted to speak his truth, that's
Hey,
on him.
it's
That's
fine.
on
Good for
him.
you. Good for you.
Man, that's on him though. Like I don't
Got that
have
off
to
your
address
chest.
that.
Much love. I ain't got to say nothing about it.
Yeah,
Straight
people
up.
say shit about me all the time, and I'd be like, Silent Joe.
Yeah. Because if you bait into everything that somebody says to you online, you're going to spend your whole life addressing haters and addressing people and trying to explain. Man, that's what social media is. It's just like the internet is really judgmental. They're so quick to attack you for any little thing when
Yeah.
nobody's perfect, man. You know what I mean? What role did you audition for that you didn't get that you might have wished you gotten?
I've I've not gotten so many roles, bro, that I don't even know. Like I don't know that there's one that I really wish I've gotten. Because at the time you're thinking, all right, it's a great opportunity, it's a major bag, but yeah, I don't think I'm like,
Is it more like, because for me it's more like the more dots you throw at the board, something's gonna stick type of thing. Do you kind of audition for everything all around the board? Are you like not really
nah,
prejudiced with what you audition for?
no. I'm very careful.
Okay.
Because there's certain things, it's like I just said no to an audition last week, and it was something that I felt like was not good for a black man in this culture, in this climate right now.
To be doing.
And I'm very unapologetic about representing my people in the strongest light and in the most positive, respectful light. So I was like, yeah, nah, that's
I
not for
mean,
me.
even Viola Davis, she came out, she did a movie called The Help, and it did really well. It was a hit. But she came back now and says now with what's going on, she feels like she might have, but she feels like she kind of betrayed her people by taking that kind of role and being a part of a movie that wasn't ready to speak all the truth. You know what I mean?
And I
And
was on that back then, Flawless. I was,
mm,
because I saw the connection. As soon as Obama got elected, is when they went ham with showing black people we don't give a fuck about y'all.
mm,
So The Help and The Butler, two movies that were made right when Obama got elected. And I'm like, how? How do y'all not see that this shit, 12 Years a Slave? Like, how do y'all not see
yeah.
that this shit is by design, that they want to keep perpetuating that image of us just not being worth anything,
No, for real.
less than human and worthy of being killed and called all kinds of names and beaten and fuck all of that. Like I don't support any of those movies. They will not get my dollar. I don't support none of them shits.
You see, you've been on Wild 'N Out. Nick Cannon is a good friend. Shout out Nick Cannon. Always shows love to
Mm.
me. Said some things on his podcast, which I believe he should have the freedom to speak on his own fucking podcast. But he said some things, and Viacom ended up cutting ties with him.
We all got to speak our truths and or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually haven't heard. When I first saw the post yesterday, I just thought it was a situation where they decided to cut ties, or the show went on long enough, and then I kind of read a little more into what the issue was. But I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet to speak on it.
The only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to executives and labels right now speaking for and the artists that are speaking for reparations and speaking for, I see a lot of, but a lot of these labels still own a lot of black artists masters and did a lot of artists wrong, in this culture. Do you think hip hop artists from back in the day that were taken advantage of deserve some type of reparation?
1,000%. I think I saw Erykah Badu post that saying, like, y'all want to put up a black square in solidarity for black people. If you want to really show some solidarity, how about y'all pay back all that money that y'all stole from all these artists?
Yeah.
Period. Like, why not? Like, they earned that.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
They earned that shit. Like, it don't make no human sense for artists to be making 3 cents on a dollar off their record or some shit. Like, and then y'all recouping mad millions of dollars and then shaving them off and come out, you thinking you made $3 million and then you come out of that joint with fucking 50K or some shit.
Yeah, 30,000.
Bruh.
Yep.
That's gangster. So yeah, this should be reparations, I believe.
No, I believe so too. I believe a lot of the older artists that before the streaming era, before everything, that were taken advantage of, and even like we're talking about people like Eric B and Rakim that are still trying to make money touring. They shouldn't. I don't think at that age they should even be out there trying to even scrape up. You know what I mean? I think it should just be they should be given what was rightfully theirs. TLC.
Absolutely.
TLC sold so many records and got screwed over, bro. Like we can go down the list of so many artists. But
yeah, majorly.
I think I'm an advocate for that as well. I think they should be given reparations for hip hop artists from the past that were screwed over, for sure. I'm glad that you.
I'm here for that.
What is next for Affion Crockett?
Like I said, another TV show. I got a stand-up special that I own. I put up my own bread and shot it, and we just got a licensing.
On it. You see me?
Yeah. But yeah, we just got a licensing deal for it. So what that means is the network can license it for me for the time frame that we agree to, and then the ownership comes back to me. And I can go license it wherever else I want or sell it on the internet. I could sell it on iTunes, out the trunk, whoever, you know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, that was very, very a proud moment for me to be able to finance my own joint. And
well, congratulations on that, because that means that you've built yourself to a level where now you have boss status, man.
I mean, why not? Why keep working for people? You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. For sure. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your hectic schedule, man. For me, I honestly appreciate it. I thank you. You're top 5 in my book, bro. And I look forward to everything that you have coming up. And I look forward to seeing you successful even more. And I know we're going to cross paths again, man, real soon. So
yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, man. Because like I said, the energy with me and you from day one was always 100, and you just was a very sincere kid and talented as fuck. You a bar master. You one of them barbarians, bruh. As Sway would say, a hyena in this game. And so, I'm glad that I was able to meet you and discover you that day, and understand that all right, there's some real young heads out here who are keeping the spirit of Rakim alive. You know what I mean? I mean, even though Rakim's alive, you know what I mean? Like the essence of Kane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of Slick Rick and Nas, and you definitely cut from that same cloth. So you, Sean Smith, and there's a few others, Oswin Benjamin. Like there's a lot of guys out there that's really, really spitting some truth.
Nah, appreciate you, King. Thank you so
Oh, I
much,
got some
man.
new music coming too soon, man. So look
Oh,
out for that.
okay. We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do
Nah,
something.
we said that, but
We
mark
gotta
my word,
really
like
do it. Yeah.
we really gotta
Nah, we
gotta
really gotta do it for sure. I would love
do
to get you
something
on the album
fly.
for sure, man. That would be a blessing.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Thank you so
my
much.
man.
Enjoy the rest of your time, King. Stay safe out there in LA, and we'll connect real soon, man.
All right, man. Love, man.
Bless,
Appreciate you.
King. Love. Thank you.
Yup.
The cookie keep you calling, then it's good. If I want it in the morning, then it's good. I got this money on my mind, but I got a little time. Let me see.